فأما من أوتي كتابه بيمينه فيقول هاؤم اقرءوا كتابيه. So my name is Leo. I come from a place just on the border of southeast London and I guess Kent. So when I was around 9 years old, I took my Shahada. I actually took my Shahada while I was in school with a teacher. So my stepdad, he comes from his family comes from Bangladesh. And he introduced me to Islam sort of at a young age. So I used to pray Salah with him. I did fast for Ramadan, just for one day, obviously, because I was young. And when I was 9 or 10, he got married to my mum. And then he sort of introduced me to his side of the family. And then I started properly practicing Islam. So I started doing my Salah with them. And they sort of taught me a little bit more about the deen. But I didn't really understand it properly. And I guess because I was just transitioning into a secondary school, I sort of started mixing with, I guess, the wrong crowd and sort of got dragged into a bit of a street life. And a few of the people, there was sort of, I guess, Islamophobic people, and they put a bit of stuff into my head, sort of tried to brainwash me and pulled me away from Islam. So when I was about 12, 13, I stopped practicing. I stopped practicing for quite a while. So I was just on the streets. I was barely ever at home, to be honest. I was always, I guess, I was just out with that man them sort of thing. And then when I turned 15, things sort of started to change. Like, I guess you could say calamities. Friends started turning on me. I guess girls I was talking to, they started snaking me. And other people started just moving sly behind my back, sort of backbiting me. And people would come to my grandparents' house and they would actually take things from them. So I met a brother on the streets. He sort of told me to stay away from them people, gave me a bit of advice, told me I should actually get closer to God. So I made a dua. I said to Allah, I asked him to change my life, to remove my enemies from my life, to clear my path. I guess just to make it easier for me and for my mother, because I could see the path that I was going down and how it was affecting my mom and my siblings and the people around me. And then I started losing a lot more friends. And I guess people started to really show their true colors. Yeah, I might sound a bit crazy for this, but at this point, when these people started turning on me, I was actually having like dreams, visions of what was going to happen to me. There was one point when I went out to go and meet someone, and then they said to me that my brother said to them in a group chat that he's going to rob them. And then next thing you know, they're grabbing me up in a bando. They're punching me up. They're just taking the mick out of me, recording me, posting on Snapchat, all for just clout, you know. And then they call 2 people that have beef with me, and then they come and jump me with them 2 people. And then as I'm walking back home, I'm having flashbacks, remembering that I literally had a dream about this 2 weeks before it happened. And then there was another point. I got into some beef with someone, and me and my brother, we was arranging to go and meet someone. And as we're stepping out of the block, I look across the road, and there's people there. And I think to myself, you know what? I'm having some strange feeling. I literally saw this in a dream, and in the dream, that happened. But as I'm walking out the block, I didn't just look across the road and then see the people. I'm just walking across, and then I see the people that I have beef with, and then they end up stabbing me, and then I wake up. So I saw what I saw in the dream, but I said, you know what, I've already seen this. So I turned around, I went back upstairs. And the next thing you know, about 5-10 minutes later, my brother's calling me up. He said he just got run down. The boys tried jerking. And then that just made me think, so there's some force actually out there trying to tell me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to tell me to stop going down this path that I'm going down. And then eventually it got to the, I just wasn't really listening. So I just got to the point where I guess I was just trying to make quick money. I didn't really care about the beef. So then I was just going out, just doing my thing. And then I'm noticing every day, almost every day, I'm having another deja vu. I've already seen this. Didn't this already happen? And then I end up going, this happened just last year. I end up going somewhere quite far away to do something. And towards, I say the fourth day that I'm there, I just have this strange feeling in my chest that something bad's gonna happen. And then the next day, or the day after that, the guy whose house I'm staying at, he calls me, he says, get out of the house, the neighbors are calling feds. And I actually believed him because I hear the neighbors arguing next door. I hear them screaming, shouting, banging. So I quickly get all of my stuff together and I just go and link them. And when I go and link them, I've got a strange feeling, you know, so I'm just standing behind the bus stop seeing what's going on. So I see them both. I see the guy who calls me and I see his friends. They come towards me and they're just on their own. So then I go spot them. I say, so where we going? He said, just walk this way. We'll be there in 5-10 minutes. So I'm walking and then I look behind me. There's a guy full bellied up, covering his face, gloves on. And we're walking for about 5 minutes. We walk down an alleyway. As we get to the end of the alleyway, I look behind me again. The guy's about 3 meters behind me. He's closer. So I quickly walk up the stairs at the end of the alleyway. And I say, we get into a little bit of a fight. The guy ends up stabbing me in the face. I see my tooth fall out on the floor. So I'm swinging at him. They're swinging at me. They start kicking me into the ground. And then I end up running because obviously I'm not trying to get stabbed in the neck or anything because it literally missed me that much from the neck. Eventually they catch up with me, they trip me up. One of them stabs me in the back. I don't know if it was once or twice because I got a mad scar. And they end up taking, say they took everything. And then I'm just walking after they go. I'm just following literally signs on the road because I'm in the middle of nowhere. I don't know where I am. So I follow signs that say they're leading to a hospital. And I see a McDonald's. So I think, you know what, I can just tell them to call me an ambulance. But we get in there, they're all suspicious. They lock down the whole place. They tell all the customers to leave. And next thing you know, they're just asking me more and more questions. So I call my mom. I ask her to come and pick me up because I'm feeling paranoid about going to the local hospital. And then the police get there. They question me about what happened. My mom, she gets there just about 5 minutes after the police get there. And I'm not really answering questions because at this point I'm just dumb. I don't really want to talk to police at this point. So eventually we leave there, and then my mum tells me she saw a camera flashing. This is the love my mum has for me. She literally sped all the way there just so she could get me to the hospital because she doesn't know what's happening to me. I've been gone for a week. I didn't even tell her what I was doing. And then she comes and takes me to the hospital. Alhamdulillah. I get there, and they just put a plaster on my face for now, just like a bandage, just to cover it, just to stop the bleeding for a little while. The police, they take all my clothes. I get home, I find out they took my computer as well. They took my computer to find sort of whatever evidence leads to whatever happened. Then the next day, I end up going to another hospital, which is about an hour drive away from me. And then they stitch up my face. And then again, I make another dua. I ask Allah to take me out of this life, to remove me from this life, this way of life, because I see that it's just not worth it. I see where I'm gonna end up in 5 years' time if I continue on that path. So for the next few weeks, I'm just staying home because I'm feeling paranoid. And every now and then, of course, after that, once my face was healed, I was going to link my brother, but I'm getting up to other things. I shouldn't really say it, but yeah, I'm just getting up to other stuff. I say partying, just meeting people that I shouldn't really be meeting. And then eventually I start seeing actual signs. People start talking to me about God, but this is people talking to me about Christianity. So I look into Christianity and it just doesn't make sense to me. The concept of a Trinity, the concept of the sin that mankind's born with, it just doesn't really make sense to me. So then I just say, you know what, this just doesn't make any sense. So I leave it. And then a little while goes by. I'm seeing something on, I think it was TikTok, a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how he said that the day of judgment will be near when the sun rises from the west. This will be the major sign of the day of judgment. And after that, the clip cut and it showed how the magnetic core of the earth has started rotating the opposite direction, which means the earth will obviously start rotating in the opposite way. So that just made me think, you know what, this actually makes sense. This could be the right path. So then I'm looking into it a little bit more. I'm looking at not just hadith, but the Qur'an, of course. And then it comes to the point where I see a video talking about the ayah of Pharaoh and Musa alayhi salam. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala drowned Pharaoh in the Red Sea and preserved his body for generations to see as an example. And then it showed a picture of Pharaoh's body which was perfectly preserved, which they found in the Red Sea. And this happened 5,000 years ago. And there's not a tooth missing from his mouth. Perfectly preserved. So I show it to one of my friends and he says, you know what, that's crazy. And then he's showing it to like all of his friends, my other friends, but they just say, you know what, you're mad. How can you believe this? It just doesn't make sense how they don't really see it. How their mind's eyes just blind. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says he seals their hearts, the hearts of the disbelievers, he seals them. So after that, I'm just considering taking up Islam for, I don't know, quite a while now. And then it comes New Year's. I stop the drinking. I stop smoking within the first week of New Year's. I just throw away the vaping. I throw away the cigarettes. I say, this is it. I'm changing. I cut off all of these fake friends that are just misleading me. And then my friends are sort of saying to me, you know, Islam it's sort of just an extreme religion. You're not allowed to do anything. It's just a strict religion. You can't eat pork. You can't eat bacon. Bacon's peng. Like they're saying, oh, you can't even have a drink. But bacon, it's not bad for you. It causes cholesterol problems. Alcohol, obviously, it's not bad for you. It causes liver problems, kidney problems. So I'm just ignoring them. Whatever they're saying, it's going in this year, it's coming out that year. Because I can't really listen to them if they're not seeing it. And then something comes up on the subject of Ramadan. And because I'm not really up to much, I'm just playing PlayStation with these, just playing COD all night with these lot. And then they talk about Ramadan. They say, Leo, if you're a Muslim, aren't you gonna fast Ramadan? So I say, oh my days, wallahi, when it comes Ramadan, I'm gonna fast the whole thing. So then I check when the date is for Ramadan, because they said apparently it's soon. And it turns out that Ramadan is literally 2 or 3 hours from then. The sun's about to rise. I have to eat. I have to drink. I didn't know what it was called at the time, but it was suhr. And so the sun comes up. I'm saying, this is it. I can't eat. I've got to start praying. I've got to start doing my salah. So I hear my stepdad wake up. So I ask him, you fasting this year? And he says, yeah. And he sounds a bit like he's a bit skeptical about me asking him. So I say, have you got the prayer mat, the Zayn namaz, so I can do my salah? I'm going to start practicing. And he says, MashaAllah, I'm actually proud of you. I never thought this moment would come, he says. So he sort of talks to me a little bit about what you have to do in Ramadan, the sort of things you have to stay away from. And he says he will explain a little bit more to me later when he's back from work. So then, obviously, because the sun's already up at this point, I have to quickly look on my phone how to make wudu, because it's been years since I last made wudu. So I make wudu, I quickly pray Fajr. And then my dad comes back home and he tells me a little bit more about Ramadan. So I'm feeling a little bit more confident. I know what I'm doing. And then the next morning comes, we wake up for suhr, and it's basically the same thing for the next week or so. And then after the first week, we go to the first Taraweeh that I've ever been in my life. And this was probably the best experience that I've actually felt as a Muslim, as a revert this year. Obviously, it's exhausting being up all, like an hour praying for 1 hour straight. It aches your legs a little bit. But the connection that it gives you to Allah Azza wa Jal is, the connection to Allah is, it outweighs everything in the dunya, honestly. So obviously waking up for suhr is a bit tough. Just getting used to it. I guess it's a mercy from Allah, basically teaching us to be a better Muslim, to wake up for Fajr before the sunrise, and to stay away from food, to stay away from drink from sunset, from sunrise until sunset. It basically teaches us that we can stay away from our nafs, stay away from our desires. And I guess I don't know really what to say. But of course, after Ramadan, I started reading a lot of the Quran during Ramadan. Of course, I forgot to mention. But after Ramadan, I started reading a lot more hadith. I started committing myself to gain knowledge of Islam. And I guess people are just saying to me, "Oh, you don't have to follow the sunnah. It's sunnah for a reason." But in the Quran it says, "Obey Allah and obey His Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam." So I'm thinking it's a wajib to follow the sunnah. So I end up actually getting a collection of hadith. It's called Sahih al-Bukhari. And as I'm reading the introduction to it. And this paragraph, this sentence here blows my mind. It says that Imam Bukhari, may Allah have mercy on him, he didn't write down a single hadith without praying a 2 rakah istikhara. And there's over 8,000 hadith in the whole collection. So he prayed istikhara 8,000 times. That's 16,000 rakah. Could you imagine how long that must have taken? Just to gather all of them hadith. For the first, I say 3 days, it was a little bit tough. And then I guess you just get used to it. You just get used to it, to be honest. I read somewhere that it's a beneficial thing to take creatine monohydrate during Ramadan so you don't lose any body mass. So I went on Amazon and I just ordered some creatine. I checked to make sure it's halal, it's vegan.
Yeah, creatine's alright.
So just so I don't lose weight.
They call it the poor man's steroid. But yeah.
It's a lot better than it used to be before I was a Muslim, because obviously he sees the change that I've been making. He sees that I've been breaking away from the wrong crowd. He sees that I've let go of all these fake friends, and that I've let go of most of these desires in this dunya. But it's just trying to encourage him to practice and trying to give dawah to my mom. I try and give dawah to my mum, but she just shakes it off as a little bit of a coincidence, I guess. May Allah guide her, of course. This is another story as it is. I was coming back from Jummah. I was at the train station and my train got delayed. So when I get there, I see a few brothers outside the masjid. So I go and talk to him. I crack a little bit of a joke, a little bit of a conversation, introduce myself. They ask me if I know any Arabic. I say, no, I haven't really learned Arabic, just alif, ba, ta. So they tell me that on Saturdays they have Arabic lessons for free, for reverts. So of course I say, yeah, mashallah, I'll turn up. So the next day comes, I turn up. I'll go to the masjid to pray Asr. After Asr, it's the Arabic lessons. So it only takes me about 2 weeks to learn the whole alphabet. Alhamdulillah. And then on the second week, they tell me that there's a trip to go up north to learn more about the deen. It's called the New Muslim Retreat, they say. So I say, you know what? Going on the path to seek knowledge, it's the best thing that a new Muslim can do. I tell them, I'm coming. So then, yeah, I guess it's been an experience, a good experience. It's just reinforced a bit of the knowledge that I've picked up from reading, I guess. So what really helped me a lot is the pronunciation of when I'm reciting the Fatiha. Of course, prolonging the L's, the double L's, or the lam. For example, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Before I would just say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Then they're telling me I have to prolong the L. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And of course the pronunciation of the tashahhud. And of course the best thing is seeing all my brothers around me, they're learning. It's probably the best thing. It's a heartwarming experience to see other brothers learning their deen.
Whether you've been Muslim for 5 minutes or 5 years, one thing always remains the same: building and growing your faith. At iERA, we understand that embracing Islam isn't the end of your journey, rather, it's the beginning. If you're ready to join a group of like-minded people and take a deep dive into embedding Islam into your life, both spiritually and practically, then join us for our transformative 4-day all-inclusive getaways. Over the 4 days, you'll come face to face with all the facets of Islam, from understanding and learning the prayer to figuring out how to apply Islam in your everyday life. Topped off with detailed classroom-based sessions and a handy binder to take away as a reference, this is one experience you don't want to miss.
I think it gave me a higher level of Iman. I think it helped me refocus. You know, I'd love to come on the retreat again, even though I've done the second retreat now, but I'm sure you'll see me back here, perhaps next year.
You can register today at the exclusive offer price of just £350.
The retreat here is designed by somebody who's been through this. It's not somebody who's gone, okay, I think this will work. This is somebody who's gone through it, tried and tested. This is the beauty of it. Best thing of my life. This will go down one of my days of history. It really will. I think it really made me. It actually made me. It made everything concrete. It set my morals and my standards because it's given me basics and the fundamentals.
To find out more or to register today, visit www.iera.org/retreat.